Well, good morning. I'm out here on the lake on this really nice but brisk Saturday morning, and I'm going to do some camping tonight. But instead of hiking to the spot, I am going to canoe into the spot. This is a new spot for me. I'm still familiar with the area, but this is a new camping location, and I've only been to this little area of the woodland one other time before, and that was very briefly. I was excited about, just the challenge of somewhere different and new resources and all that. So I'm gonna go find camp in just a moment, but I saw something on the bank over here as I was pulling the canoe in that might be of interest to me. Maybe something I can use at camp. So let's go over here and check it out. Oh, do you see what I see? It looks like somebody has left a chair out here. Looks like it's broken right here. So it's broken just kind of right here. That's it, and I think I can just take some twine and just bind that together, and then I might have a seat. Well, we'll take it with me. Let's see what we can do. Finders keepers, right? Okay, I think I've found a place, and I'm really close to where I parked the canoe. I can see the water just down the way. I'm maybe 5 minutes away from the canoe, but it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. I've got a 33-pound backpack on my back, so the fact that I found a camping spot pretty quick, like I said, doesn't hurt my feelings. So check this out. Got a nice little flat area right here. There are a lot of conifers in this area of the woodland. You can see all of them up and down. It is mixed though with some hardwoods. You see we've got some here. There is a ton of deadfall just all over the place. And while pine is not my favorite wood to use for a fire, it will work. And I like this little open area. I've looked up and around, and while there is a lot of deadfall here, I do not see any trees above me that look dead, and there's no big limbs that are hanging above me that look like they would fall on top of my camp. So this is going to be it. All right, so I'm trying out something a little different today. Brought up my DD 3 meter by 3 meter tarp. I want to try to set this tarp up in a teepee configuration. I've used it in a tent configuration before, which is really low to the ground and is great if it's gonna rain, but it's not gonna rain tonight. It's just gonna be cold, and I would like to try to configure this in a teepee configuration, like I mentioned. So my basic idea is that I'm going to make a big tripod. It won't be hard to find here with all this pine, this really straight, dead pine laying around, but I'm gonna cut 3 poles to start with, probably 8 feet long, and I'm going to lash them together to form a tripod. And then I'm going to use the tarp to kind of drape over that in a configuration that I hope will work. It works in my brain and with the little drawings that I've made at my home, but this is my first time, so I'm gonna have to adjust and figure it out on the fly as I go. So stick with me, and let's see if we can come up with a new configuration for the DD 3x3 tarp. Teepee style. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got my 3 poles. Nice thing about using pine is they're really straight, or fairly straight. Since I'm going to be draping a tarp over them though, I am going to take an axe and knock some of the little pokies off, right? Because I don't want to damage the tarp. And just kind of smooth those out. So I'm using just some sisal twine to lash these 3. They're fairly thick pine poles. So I've done, I think I did about 8 lengths. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I did 8 lengths of twine, which is probably a little overkill, but I didn't want to come up short, and I can always cut any leftovers and reuse that. So let's lash these 3 poles together. Do some over and unders. Okay, I did have about 3 or 4 arm lengths of twine left, so I did pull off a good bit too much, but that's okay. I mean, I can reuse that twine around camp for just little chores. I do have to mend that chair and some other things, so I'll reuse it, and if I can't reuse it, I'll use it to help start the fire. So that's the nice thing about twine. So let's get this tripod stood up. So I've got my tarp here in my snug pack, and I want to show you my plan with this. First of all, I keep all of my cord in here for my ridge line. I will not need that cord today, so I'm going to set that aside. I always have a little S-clip on the middle here of my tarp as well, ready to set up. I'm going to take that off, but I am going to use that S-clip, so I'm going to stick that in my pocket. Alright, let's pull the tarp out. Similarly, on all of my corners, I have paracord already tied for guy lines. I am not going to need that either, and so while it's still hanked up and before it makes a mess everywhere pulling apart, I'm going to go ahead and take a moment and take all of that paracord off. I have 4 of these total. What I'm going to do, I'm basically forming like a poncho, like a big poncho for this tripod. And so what I'm doing is I'm starting with a corner spot, any corner spot, and then I'm going to grab the second tie-out point on either side of that corner. So throw that corner back, and I've got 2 of those. I've got those 2 tie-out points. I suppose you could also use a toggle for this if you wanted to, but like I said, I've got my S-clip, and all I'm going to do is take those 2 tie-out spots, and I'm going to clip them together so they are now joined. And you see what I'm talking about? I'm thinking about, you know, basically it's like a large poncho, right? It's got a, right, if this was the corner spot, and my plan is to lay that over the top of the tripod. So let's see how that goes. This is the fun part. I'm pretty sure this is too tall, and I can always take some off of the leg, but just watch me struggle for a minute here. You get the laugh. Oh, that's not bad. Second try. I've taken the edge here of the DD tarp and kind of wrapped it around. I did take some twine. It's just like a timber hitch, wrapped it around 3 or 4 times and then looped it under, pulled it and kind of winched it down tight. I did the same thing on the other side. Honestly, I could probably leave it like that, but there are a couple of tie-out points on the back side there on either side, and I think I can create, I don't know, a few inches more of space by making little stakes to put into those tie-out points down into the ground. So I don't think it's a necessity, but I'm gonna do it. Okay, here it is, the Tepee tarp setup. Yeah, I really like this actually. It's really spacious. I mean, I'm right at 6 feet tall. I'm technically like 5'11" and a half, but who's counting? I can stand up in this thing, no problems. I don't have to duck or anything. So I think the poles actually, while they were a little long on the front side, and I cut, oh, I don't know, 2 or 3 couple of inches off. I think the 8-foot length for these tripod poles are right on. So I can stand in it. If it was to rain, I would be perfectly dry in here. You know, there's not a lot of left to right space, but you know, I can open my arms about that much. Yeah, I like being able to stand up. Of course, I'm going to sleep right here near the door, just inside the door, and I'm going to have a fire right out in front of me. I've got plenty of room back here for my backpack back behind the bed, which is kind of where I like it anyway, or my camp items. Since it's not going to rain, I may leave my backpack outside of the teepee, but yeah, this is awesome. I did a little wrap job here. Will I bust it? Let's find out. Oh yeah. Whew, I have gone from camping to glamping now. Let me show you around camp a little bit. So I've got my lantern hanging here from this tree, little sapling here next to the teepee tarp. Got my wood kind of stations kind of prepped out. I got the big base stuff over there, some mediums over there. I split some of that on the far end, and then the little stuff here. Got my teepee tarp. I have my sleep pad, the yellow sleep pad under there, which is the flash pad from REI, and my brand new, never been used before, 20-degree Fahrenheit sleeping bag. It's supposed to get down to 25 degrees Fahrenheit tonight, so I'm curious to see how I do in that. I didn't bring any wool blanket. Of course, I'm going to layer up on my clothes, but according to the rating, I should be good to go. Done and done. Well, it's about 10 minutes to 5, and I'm out on the lake, just paddling around. I don't really have anywhere in particular to go, just enjoying it. We are approaching the golden hour, and it's nice out here. Sun's just below the tree line there, just now going down. I just got back from a nice paddle. I'm here at the camp and starting to get cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the fire started. Took this and roughed it up a little bit between two sticks. So I don't know, we'll see. There might be enough frayed ends in there to catch this, this spark. Okay, so it's about 10:30, and honestly I'm not real tired, but I know that I need to go ahead and get ready for bed and lay down. Anyway, just thought I'd go ahead and kind of sign off for the night. We'll see you guys in the morning. Good night. Good morning, everybody. It's about 5:15 a.m. and not only did I need to stretch, but I've got to go pee, and it's pretty cold out here. And if I'm being honest, most likely I'm up to be up now. So, yeah, I mean, I slept pretty steady. I think I woke up a couple of times, but I didn't get out of the sleeping bag, and it was warm the whole time in the sleeping bag. But I just got out, and it's not warm now. I think those are the, I think that's the eagle. I don't know my eagle call very well, but I swear I think it's a set of eagles. I feel like it's probably getting black on the bottom. I really don't want it to be black on the bottom. Yes. All right. Well, this is going to about do it. There's really not much else to show. I'm going to finish eating. I think it's about 7:30 or something like that. I'm going to finish eating. I'm going to go down to the lake, and it's going to take multiple trips to put this. The fire is out, but the coals are still really hot. And I'm going to have to douse it with a lot of water. So it'll take a few trips to really get these coals just doused to where I'm not worried that anything's going to reignite. I'm going to pack up camp and put it in the backpack, and I'm going to head down to the canoe and paddle out back to the car and go home. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off right here. Just wanted to say thank you for watching, if you're still watching this far. Either way, I really appreciate it, whether you watch a minute and a half of it or if you watch the whole thing. I'm grateful for the views, and I'm just still really enjoying what I'm doing. So anyway, thanks a lot. We'll catch you on the next time. Bonus footage. There's our eagle's nest up there.